Some they call it functional alcoholism, but if you know anything about Ben, he's got vision with precision, microphones and a tinkle of derision. You're about to hear what beer can be. It's time for Barley and Me.
Welcome to Barley and Me. I'm your host, Ben Rice. It's episode 166. We're here today in Sunnyvale, California at Tetra Hotel talking to Japas Cervejaria. Oh my goodness, this is so many words out of my mouth so quickly. Okay, so this is a very special episode. I don't want to mess anything up. Let's just do a roundtable introduction, but this is a Brazilian Japanese-owned brewery out of Brazil, traveling across the U.S., trying to get into the U.S. market for craft beer. There's so much to talk about, but if you guys could please introduce yourselves, say who you are, where you're from, and we'll get going.
I'm Maira Kimura. I'm one of the co-founders and one of the brewers of the brewery.
Thank you so much for being on the episode.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, I am Yumi Shimada. I am co-founder too, and I am responsible for the brand, like the labels, arts, and yes, it's it.
And thanks again.
And I'm Fernanda Ueno. I'm also one of the brewers, and yeah, together with Maira, we take care of the production, and yeah, we look after everything brewery side. So we follow up the productions in Brazil and in the States.
I'm Pooah Alon, or also known as Fufu, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Beerternational. So I represent Japas Cervejaria here in the U.S. And very happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to be rude, but tell me more about Beerternational, kind of like what that product is, how that works, what are you doing?
Sure. So Beerternational is a platform for international craft breweries to brew and sell their beers here in the U.S. So instead of importing, we're in charge of producing the beers here. So, you know, the process is greener and the beer is fresher, and it allows us to sell, you know, the beers at a much competitive price.
And especially right now where importing things is so difficult, there's so much of a log jam.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's really an important part of it. Because that was one of the questions I had when I was driving down here is like, how do they plan to make sure that, looking at your profile, those beers mostly need to be kind of fresher beers. This will be a challenge. And then like, oh, we're doing contract brewing to make sure that we have that quality always there, which is great planning.
Thank you.
So how long have you guys been open? What led you guys to, I should stop saying you guys, right? What led you to start this brewery? How did you guys get excited about beer and things like that?
Yeah, we actually met through beer because we were all working in the beer industry before Japas. I was the brewer at one of the biggest craft breweries in Brazil. Maira had her own beer project before, and Yumi was already making labels for Maira's brewery. And Yumi and I, we did the beer sommelier program together 10 years ago. Yeah. And Maira, we are never sure how we met.
Probably in a festival, in a bar,
maybe
probably a little bit tipsy, but
somewhere along the way.
Lucky coincidence, lucky encounter.
And then, we started just for fun, like brewing a 40-liter batch. Sorry, I don't do barrels and gallons. So it was a 40-liter batch in a home brewing kit at the brewery I worked before. And we, since the beginning, we had this idea about mixing Japanese ingredients because we are all from Brazilian Japanese families. That's how we got together, being girls in the industry and also being from Brazilian Japanese families. So we chose 4 different ingredients, and the base was an American Pale Ale. And then we got all together in Yumi's place to try the beer. Yeah. And everyone's favorite was the one with wasabi. And this beer is still in our portfolio. It's
Wasabi.
Yes.
Yeah. So how long ago did you meet versus when you guys, there I am again, before you guys started the brewery?
It was pretty fast.
We met 10 years ago, sorry.
Since we met, the brewery was pretty fast. And then we brewed this home brewing batch, and then we were invited to brew in a brew pub and then in a brewery. So it was like just happening naturally and very fast.
Yeah. So you basically had community support, essentially. You're like, I've got this product. They're like, we'll put it on tap here. They're like, maybe you brew in our back room and whatever. And then you like slowly build up to like what you are now.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So how big of a space are we talking now? Like, what was the process of going through those hoops?
We don't have a brew space of our own.
Okay.
We contract brew in Brazil and in the States because we think that the beer is fresher and it's greener. It's like a greener process. So right now we do around 20 barrel in Brazil, like batches. Here we do 50 and 100 barrel batches.
Nice. And then you're rolling out into like 10 different areas in the U.S., is that right?
Yeah, 10 states, yeah.
Nice. Oh, states. I was like, maybe they're just hitting cities. It's like, no, we're in states.
10 states, yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can remember those. California, Florida, Massachusetts, Maine, Michigan, Rhode Island. Help me here. New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And those are huge brewed
You are good.
states as well. So you're like getting into a market that like knows beer. Excuse me.
We're drinking beer here.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. I've got Shisawa in my glass right now. It's delicious. My girlfriend came back for seconds on that one. So yeah. You're hitting into some pretty decent markets as far as craft beer is concerned. And so I know you guys have your story of who you are as people. Is there a push you guys are making to... I keep saying you guys. I can't get out of it. I'm so sorry. Is there a push you guys... Is there a push you are using to kind of show who you are in these markets? Like, is there a particular marketing perspective you're taking?
I don't think particularly, but I mean, we are trying to expand as well. So already talking to other distributors in other states. I mean, our main one now, I guess, it's New York.
Yes.
So we spent more time there this
Yeah.
time. We had more events.
What a punishment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to do that. I know it was probably very hard for you.
Very hard.
Yeah. So in the Brazilian community, is there a lot of support for Japanese beer drinkers in that area? Or is it kind of...
Yeah, so in Brazil, we have the largest Japanese community outside of Japan. So we're about 2 million now, and the States is second. So we have a lot of support from the Japanese community, also from the girls, also the other women brewing, and the market in general. I think people are super supportive with us, and they really like trying our beers.
Sometimes
Yeah,
our clients bought our beer and tell about us in the favor bars for sell our beer there. So we have great fans.
Yeah, they sell our beers for us.
Yes.
Kind of like, and we're
they
very
help
connected,
us a lot.
Very connected to the community of gastronomy, Japanese cuisine in Brazil. So we have a lot of friends in this area too. So
as I was drinking your beers, I'm like, oh, these are like designed for food pairings. Like, absolutely. I think one of my favorite things is that wit beer with the ginger is like, to me, a wit beer is like supposed to be drunk cold and fresh, and like you get that big, vibrant, orange taste. But you guys threw ginger in there, and it's kind of subtle at first, but when it warms up, it's like so prevalent and strong, and like just like a nice way to like finish off that glass. Whereas like a lot of wit beers, like you're towards the end, it's like, oh, this is warm, it's kind of gross. When you have that ginger kick, it's just like, oh, okay, we've got like a little bit more going on here. Yeah, it's refreshing the whole way through. So yeah, it's just like, oh, this would be great for like an end of the night beer for sure, like, or between meals cleanser. Like, yeah, it was great. So I think I noticed that in all of your beers, that it was definitely like designed for the idea that you drink beer with a meal.
Yeah, we like food pairing. So yesterday we had a great experience with the dinner here at Tetra Hotel. So we came a day before and we tried all the food, which was super boring. No, it was amazing. Like, the food is great. And then, we got to pair very well with our beers. We really like gastronomy, so we like traveling and trying new ingredients. And that's kind of an inspiration for us in like choosing the next ingredients that we're going to use in our beers. It's
we
a
get
very
inspiration for everything, but basically we go
Yeah.
like to a cocktail bar and like
Yeah.
we want to do this and like we can try this, and like the food too is like inspiration for us.
Yes.
It's really
The concepts too, because sometimes we don't use some ingredient. Sometimes we use only a concept. Like kawaii is our beer. The inspiration is the street in Japan is very cute street, and we resolved to create this for our brewery too. So we put the name in kawaii for celebrate this cute culture. So it's like when you don't use Japanese ingredients, but we with some ideas from Japan and Brazil too.
even gojaira.
Yes,
too.
gojaira is the same.
What else? Neko.
Neko, yes,
Neko
yes.
is our West Coast IPA, but we do like it's Neko. It's Maneki Neko. It's the lucky cat.
Yeah.
So we say we add luck to it. So buy this one.
Yes, we need
So you
more
have
clients. We need customers. Yes.
yeah, and Gojaira as well is our female monster. So we created our female version of a monster, and we don't use any special ingredient, but then it's a more dank IPA.
Yeah, the big bold.
Yeah. So we always tell a little story in the label, so you can always read why we created this.
Yeah, and for sure, like when I got here, I'm like, go dry. I mean, I have to have it. Like you see that, and you're like, I have to drink that. That's like not even a question. You have to do that.
Yeah.
So like in that case, like when I'm talking about like marketing the beers, like that name, that label, you're like, I have to drink it. That's like you can't even. If you see that, you're like, what is this?
Yes, we don't create for marketing. We create because we like a lot these things, and for us is like fun, and so we are very creative people. We create all together recipes and the labels and the names and the concept. So it's very connected.
Yeah.
Yes,
And it's also a discovery for us.
Yes,
right?
it's like a discovery because some things we don't know about the Japanese culture, and with our beer we can discover new things and learn and share with people. We can to teach about the Japanese culture because we are not Japanese, we are Brazilians, and our reason, our motivation is share with people what we are learning. So it's very grateful for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think again, like your labels tell a story, like you were saying. And I think that's another part of it. It's like they're very simple labels, and like when you look at them, they don't look like there's a lot, but there's also the elegance to them that's very attractive to the eye as well. So I think, with the naming conventions, the history behind the beer and who you people are, I changed it to you people. That's somehow worse. I think, it's designed to catch the eye, which is an important part of like entering a new spectrum, because I think beer has become increasingly localized. So as an international brewery trying to come into the U.S., you need something that sets you apart. And I think the design, the story, and then the name Gojira just staring you in the face. I'm like, how do you? They're gonna buy that beer first. They're like, I enjoyed that beer. They'll come back and see what else is there. And I think that's like your key to success in my head as a terrible person.
I would say that this is definitely one of the things that drew me, or when I first learned about Japas from Maira, my longtime friend, I was blown away by everything, like the labels and the story and the women power, and I really wanted to be a part of that, to have this opportunity to represent them and to show to show or introduce them, to be able to introduce them to the American market, with all the other beers and breweries that are out here, like the thousands and thousands, but still there's, something so unique about Japas. They so stand out. So I knew that, there's a huge potential the second I saw it, and then
I will cry now. Yeah. I am crying inside.
Like you said, there's like absolutely huge potential in that, and like beyond that, the beer is great. Like that's like the story is very important, but the beer's also got to hold up to that story. Like there's a lot of great stories, and like I know a lot of great brewers that have uninteresting stories and they fail. You know, like you need both. And I think you have both stories and beers. So that's like always a positive. And we are at Tetra Hotels. And I know you guys did a collaboration with them that I have not had yet.
Yes.
So how did that come
Open
about?
now.
What was the plan with the beer? What do you guys do?
Yeah, we saved you the last.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
rice lager, like very crisp, very fresh, very light, soft beer with a little bit of yuzu.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
So the name of it is omotenashi. Omotenashi is the Japanese concept of receiving people well and like paying attention to details and knowing what the person wants and like anticipating it. So that's what we have like this match with Tetra Hotel because they're amazing. They receive people so well, and we like this concept too. So we created this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Is
are-
everything I want to be as a host of this podcast that I'm failing at right now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so for us it's super important as well. Like, it's not receiving people, but like, it's like how we want people to have this experience trying our beers. So we really do care about everything. So we are super attentive to details, and like we like sharing and pouring our beers in festivals and like listening feedback from people. Yeah, so that was a perfect match with Tetra, and yeah, that's why we chose this name.
Yeah, I like that I poured a little bit for myself, then I like smelled all the yuzu coming up. Like I'm gonna get a little bit more of this. Yeah, that's yuzu straight to the face,
Yeah.
like for sure. Oh man, I love a rice lager. I feel like they get a bad rap in the craft scene because rice lagers are big beers, but I feel like there's so many varieties of rice. It's such a major thing throughout the world. One of the biggest crops. I feel like making a rice lager is like an important part of. Oh boy, I got more beer on myself. Oh, sorry. But yeah, so what made you choose? Well, I guess we kind of talked about like a rice lager is like a little bit of a lot of craft beer people aren't really into them. Is there a reason you chose to do a rice lager? Is it? I mean, that's also my Americanized California hophead garbage popping through on that probably. But is there a reason you chose the rice lager for this beer?
It's really popular in Japan.
Yep.
Like it's one of the most consumed styles of beer in
Yep.
Japan. So we wanted to be a part of
Izakayas.
it. Like izakayas, like you go there and you have like a rice lager, of course, because it's light. It's like it's easy to drink. It's crisp, and you can drink a lot of
Oh my
it.
God. It's delicious. And yours obviously is separated from that because you're adding that yuzu in there. And it's getting a huge bouquet.
Touch.
It's a huge bouquet of
Japas
it, though.
touch.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a huge bouquet of it. Like you actually get that all in the nose, and it's great. So I think it's like, and again, you're like, it's also kind of saying, welcome us into your home as well. I think it's lovely.
I need another sip.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. How did you find your way into the craft beer world? Is there like a big scene in Brazil for that, or is it a little bit more of a barrier to entry that you had to like seek out or discover?
The craft market in Brazil is growing a lot, like very fast in the past like 10 years, like back when we started. So it's getting better, like for us, especially because we have more girls brewing as well. So
Not
it's
just brewing, but in all kinds
in all
of
the
like
areas,
all
in
the
breweries.
areas of
So it's
brewery,
really
yeah.
good, like seeing this happening finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like recently with COVID, the market is not like super good there right now. But for us, I mean, we have very loyal customers. So we sell in a lot of restaurants. So they have our beers in their menus. And we sell in Japanese, Asian markets, which also helps us like to keep selling well, even with the crisis. But but it was like really growing fast, but with COVID, I feel like
It kind of
it's-
leveled
Yeah,
or dropped a little bit.
And
Yeah.
beer in Brazil is kind of expensive thing,
Okay.
you know.
So yeah,
Here
when you're going to
it's-
cut
of course,
something,
it's like a little bit more expensive than the mass-produced
right?
beers, but there it's like 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
right. So it's not for everybody, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
let's change that.
Yeah. You are trying to change that, or are you kind of stuck with we got to deal with like what the market is, or are you trying to change that market a little bit?
We don't have a lot of force. Like when we got together with the other breweries, it's better. But yeah, it's something that we were looking forward to change, because we feel like the beer should be for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
So let's make it more accessible. Of course, it's a problem too, because we don't have like the hops we import from U.S. and like other countries that
the ingredients.
We have
importing the ingredients is expensive.
We do grow. Como é que fala cevada?
Barley.
Sorry, barley there. And like we have like malt production, like but small, still small.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
specialty
But it's
malts is still like almost everything imported. We have small malting companies now that are starting to produce specialty malts, but for us, we're still using imported for all of our beers, and hops, of course. And then we use a lot of natural ingredients, so fruits, teas, and we buy from small producers, and normally they are also Japanese-Brazilian families.
Nice.
Yeah. So we are pretty close to our local producers.
Yeah, as best you can.
Yeah,
right?
The girls, they already went once to pick up
Persimmon.
Yeah. So
Oh,
funny.
nice.
130 kilos of persimmon
by hand.
we got by hand.
And yuzu too. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't
Really
even think
close
about
to
it.
the
Yeah,
producers.
the import costs will definitely increase the cost. And then, of course, those major brewers have their complete access to like a pipeline so they can keep their costs down. And it's just like a really unfair advantage that they have.
Yeah, even for like cans, bottles, CO2, we have several crises in the market. Sometimes we are out of CO2 and then we cannot pack beer. And
Oh my goodness.
it sounds insane, but it happens quite often.
Yeah, no. And if you stop for a second to think about it, you're like, oh, yeah, right. Like, it's all different. But like, as you were saying, there's like a few specialty growers now, and I think that kind of comes with like as the boom happens within communities, people are like, oh, we can also be a part of this. We enjoy this, and we like keeping it local. So I think, are there any hop producers coming in, or is there anything like that
Yeah,
There are a
locally?
few experiences in Brazil, actually, because we're a tropical country, but there are a few areas in Brazil that are like a higher altitude.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like people are finding out places to grow hops.
Yeah.
It's still very new, but
Yeah.
it's promising, actually.
Yeah, it takes a few years to get
It
like
takes
a
a
good
few
crop.
years,
So
yeah.
it's always like you wish you had more, but like eventually, if people don't get frustrated or feel like they're losing money, they'll like continue to do that, and then you can get more ingredients. You can do like a special seasonal every year that you know you have the hops for.
Yeah, we're
And
looking
slowly-
forward to it.
Yeah.
To have local ingredients in Brazil.
Yeah, and are you worried at all as far as with contract brewing that they won't have the fresh ingredients that you're looking for? Is there an issue with like possible supply issues for the fruits and things like that?
No, but we actually take care of this part. Like we look for suppliers and we have close contact with them. So this is more with us. So we make sure we have actually a Excel sheet with all the ingredients that we like to use and harvest time.
Super organized.
Super.
And here in the U.S., like Pooah's the one taking care of taking care of his.
Yes, it can be challenging.
It can be. Sometimes we want to do something that it's not like you can find it here, like or anywhere else outside Japan. So it's a challenge for us, but we're managing.
Yes.
Right. You're like, well, we're doing it. I don't care if it's a challenge. We're doing the thing. We have a plan. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. And are you selling your beers in Japan as well currently? Or is that a market
But
you're...
it's our dream.
Yeah, it's our dream. Yes.
Okay, so not yet.
but
Okay.
Not
we'll
yet.
be there.
Okay.
And now we are planning to use more Brazilian ingredients too, because we are Brazilian. It's hard to explain who you are here, because in Brazil it's easy. In Brazil we have a lot of Brazilian Japanese people, and here people ask if we are Japanese, but we are Brazilian. So I think we will mix this in our recipes here too, with Brazilian ingredients, with together the Japanese ingredients.
Little marriage.
The Brazil-Japan series.
Yes. We have a new series. We had many ideas in this trip, so we are very happy with this trip. So great brainstorms.
We did a first one. It's called Ichi-un. It's called Ichi is one in Japanese, and one is one
in
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I mixed everything. So the first one is like it's coming out soon here in the U.S. In Brazil we already released it. It's a New England IPA with cacao, but not the chocolate thing,
Right.
not the nibs.
Yeah.
It's the goo that's around.
Okay.
It's like really fresh. You can get it like here. It's really hard to find, right,
Oh,
Pooah?
yes.
And cacao and yuzu.
Okay.
And it's like we're combining like every time like a Brazilian and a Japanese ingredient. So it's called BRJP
Yeah.
Yes.
series.
Okay. Yeah.
This-
Brazil
is-
Japan
Yeah.
series. And the second one is coming up.
Yeah, we brought a special ingredient
Yeah.
from Brazil for this one. Yeah, we have. I'm gonna tell.
Yeah,
So we have a
Very
very
exclusive.
Yeah, we
Exclusive.
have vanilla bean that grows in a region in Brazil called Cerrado. So it's baunilha do Cerrado. It's a very thick vanilla. It's like huge. So we brought some. So it's gonna be part of the next
Smells
recipe.
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
so good.
It's different from the.
Typical vanilla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, so what's the difference between like the cacao nib and the cacao goo? Is there like a different flavor profile you're
yeah.
getting out of
It's
that? I
totally
imagine
different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
it's
is-
like tropical. You have to try the beer actually
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Okay.
to understand a little bit more about
Because
it.
it's so
coming
unique.
out-
It's very hard to
It doesn't have
explain.
We're not used to
anything
this
to do with
Yeah.
chocolate, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because people can confuse because people don't know like the fruit itself
Yeah.
Yeah.
has like a pulp inside. It's like a white pulp, and it's really refreshing and tropical.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, a little
Yes.
sweet and
Sweet,
but also acidity.
Yeah,
It's
it's really complex.
It's like the
and good.
properties of chocolate, but not the flavor of chocolate, essentially. Like because
It doesn't
talking
taste
about sweet
anything
and
like
acidic,
chocolate.
right? But
anything.
the property is sweet, acidic. That's what I would call
Ah, yeah,
chocolate,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
the
yeah,
flavor's
yeah.
still
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because we are launching Arigato here in US too. Because we have this store in Brazil with our t-shirts, our caps, and other things we like to use. And we are launching here with Fufu.
So now we already produced the first one. So we have like T-shirts and stuff, like all the things we like using because we
Yes.
like creating different things, not only beer.
Schools, schools with birds.
So we like
Birds.
creating
Yeah.
things like different from what the market is
Yes.
creating. So
Yeah.
So we have this, and we are also involved a lot with different stuff. Like in Brazil, we have a fair called Curafto that we invite other Japanese-Brazilian producers to sell their products. So it's like fashion,
Not just beer,
woodwork, plants, jewelry,
Ceramics.
yeah, ceramics, food. So it's a big party always. It's a big celebration. So the first one we did in a museum. The second was in a bar, like a smaller place, but it was also super nice. And the last one was in June. It was huge. It was in the middle of a park in São Paulo, where they have a Japanese area. It's super beautiful with a lake and all the fish. And then we had more than 5,000 people attending this weekend. Yeah, it's huge. And we are planning to do the same here. So yeah, we'll plan for the next trip, maybe here at Tetra as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking forward to know the Japanese American producers so we can invite them to join us, join forces.
Yeah.
Reach out to us if you are
Yeah.
an American
Yeah.
Japanese producer
Absolutely.
of like you. Inspiration, Japanese inspiration.
Yeah,
It's
we
like-
always choose people that as us, like they use their Japanese descendants in their products. So it's very beautiful, like to see the party and to be everyone together. So it's,
and keep that culture alive.
Yeah,
You know, because you're
yes.
away from home, so to speak.
yeah,
And it's important to like maintain
Yes.
where you came from.
Yeah,
I think, which is I think what you guys I did it again. What you're doing is, presenting your culture, preserving your culture, and changing your culture all at once.
yeah. We mix, like we're always adapting to our way of living, like our Brazilian way. So we don't do like things in the traditional Japanese way. So we always do it like more like with our touch, our Brazilian touch. Even cooking. Like we love cooking as well. And when we cook Japanese food, we always mix with Brazilian stuff. So we like doing the same. Oops. So we like mixing these things also in our beers.
I feel like we should probably get into this. As far as outside of beer, who are you? What are things that you enjoy? What are things that like you kind of bring into the table that aren't just beer related?
For me, I think yoga. I really like yoga as well. I like studying yoga. I'm a certified yoga teacher for kids. Random. So yoga is like my second passion, I think, and pets.
For me, it's like mostly other fermentation things.
Okay. Nice.
I like to stay in the area, but I like of course, first wine. I started to study wine before studying beer. Then I realized I like beer more, and then I started to study other things like sake and other like fermented foods. Mm-hmm. Really like this thing. I really like dogs too. my father and my mother are vets.
Okay.
And my grandfather too. So now I have a dog of my own. It's my first dog, so I'm in love with her. Yeah. Basically that. I also like yoga, but I'm not certified teacher.
Me too. For me, is I like to do collages. Because I am a plastic artist. Is this in English? I don't know.
Artista plástica?
Artista plástica.
I don't know
actually.
Artist. Artistona da porra.
Artistona. Artist. I do collages, manual collages and digital collages. So I like to do this. I like to go to the stores and like the second-hand stores and stores. And I bought some books, very vintage books. They're very, very old. And I cut some images and I create a new image with the old stuffs.
Oh, yeah.
I made this in our labels too. So it's my job, but it's my fun, my hobby too, my passion too. So I like to do all things.
So you all have creative outlets that you do. It all kind of still ties into beer. Like with yoga, there's relaxation to having a nice beer at the end of the day.
Of course.
Obviously, winding down, reconnecting with yourself and the world.
It's like a therapy.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Same with college as well.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, and like you're handling the design of the beer can, so of course that comes into play as well. How do you put these parts together to make like a new and exciting and vibrant label? You got that. And then, unfortunately, fermentation has something to do with beer, so I can't discuss that with you. But I find the more I do this, the people that come from the wine background, the reason they come to beer, I don't know if this is true for you, is you realize that you can do more flavor-wise with beer than you can with wine.
It's like wine is just about the terroir, which is fantastic.
But you have no
beer,
control.
You can play so much more, like with ingredients and like temperatures and like everything.
Strengths.
So it's so many variables that it's so much like exciting.
But you also bring in like the control, like how things should work together. As far as like, because wine's like precise, it's about precision.
Yeah.
And so you kind of still bring that part to beer. So you can be exciting with beer, but also precise. And I find that a lot of like winery people get some very weird beers going because they have that.
We're pretty much like, we like balanced beers.
Yeah.
You know, beers that you can drink like easily. Even the big beers that we do, we like to make it like more drinkable, more like accessible, more interesting. Mm-hmm. You know, so we like to respect the base style of the beers. When we do like a addition of an ingredient, a Japanese ingredient, Brazilian, whatever, we like to showcase this ingredient, but also respecting the style, the base style. So it's very important for us, the balance.
Right. Yeah. But still putting a new spin on like a thing that you know. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like an important part of like showing who you are through your beer. Like with yoga, you're like none of these besides the Gojira are really particularly heavy beers as far as like ABV.
No, but we have we like also playing around with heavy beers. So we recently released a Mask series. So it's a 4-pack, and it's all big beers.
Nice.
So we have a triple IPA, We have Belgian triple, wheat wine, and Russian Imperial Stout. And it's all with the Japanese masks. So kitsune, okame, hanya, and hyotoko. I think we might have here. We can check.
We put the classic styles of beers with the classic masks. So we uni this concept is the classic masks, Japanese masks with the classic style. So
This
yesterday
is a very,
we had two of them.
very good example of beers that we do that don't have like any green ingredients, because I think we've evolved to that, to use concepts. We don't have like we like the styles. We like to like to make like good beer. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't always have to be a crazy idea.
A crazy thing. We like to do crazy things.
Right,
too.
for sure. Oh yeah,
We do.
yeah.
Sorry.
We have two examples. So Kitsune is a Belgian triple, and then we have Hyotoko, the triple New England IPA.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But then yesterday we used Okame, the wheat wine, and Hanya, the Russian Imperial Stout, and the beer pairing. So I'm not sure if they still have some.
No,
But
those are probably gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't give those out at a beer pairing and not have those disappear. So, yeah, that sounds incredible. Like, like you said, there's a creativity, but at some point you have to go to the basics and be like, we can still make a beer.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going to go into the markets like this, you have to like do a bit of both. How do you have any big plans for everybody here? Do you have big dreams and hopes for what's going to happen?
Oh, so many.
we have a lot, a big list. We can 3 days, maybe you will see if you have.
Yeah, I mean we have several dreams and plans. So expanding in the States, of course, but conquer the world. Basically, like Europe, maybe Japan is the dream. Expanding and brewing our beers in all the different places. And
like I think 2-3 weeks ago, they received an email from someone in Cyprus that heard about Japas and wanted to add it to his place. So.
We also received contacts from Switzerland. We already export to the Netherlands from Brazil.
Oh, wow.
But it's we also want to one day like open a brew pub or like
bar,
restaurant,
zakaya.
Yeah, because we love going out in this type of places. So it would be great. Yeah, it would be great to have our own where we could experiment new recipes,
new
not
products
just beer, but
too,
also
without
food.
Alcohol.
Yeah, we also want to make teas. We also in Brazil we have a cocktail in can.
I was
highball.
I was like, we should talk about that.
Yeah, so we have highball is called. We love it, so we were drinking here yesterday as well at the bar. So we love highballs. So we brewed our own, produce our own in Brazil, and maybe we can bring this also to the States. So we have a classic one. We have one with yuzu and one with decupon. So it kind of match the same ingredients that we're using in our beers into the highballs. It's delicious. I love it.
Yeah.
So is there a challenge facing you as far as getting financing and like building out a space in Brazil? Are there like regulations like, oh, you got to do all this stuff, jump through all these hoops or anything like that?
To be honest, I don't know if we would open in Brazil.
Okay.
We are very international. We like moving around, traveling and living in different places. So ideally, I don't think Brazil is a good market right now to open something, but maybe here in the States.
And investors around.
Hello. Oh, hi.
So maybe like, what about like pop-up pubs or anything like that?
That could be a good.
We'd love to.
It could be a good start, I guess. Maybe for the next trip, we can plan to have something.
Yes.
Yeah, we would love to.
I think there's a few spots where you could probably like, brew in the background. Like there's certain cities where like if you have a pub, you have to have a brewery on site, which is like, I don't know why that exists. But like there's a city near me, I'm in Sacramento, in Roseville, there's like a section of Roseville that if you have a bar, you have to have a brewery. Like you have to brew one beer that you sell, and so they're usually just really trash because they're like, we'll make whatever. Nobody here's a brewer. So like if there's other cities like that, maybe you could just like, hey, we're gonna pop in, we're gonna send you the recipe, or like we'll come down a week or two. Like, well, not a week, obviously that's like too quick, but like we'll come out a month in advance. We'll do the thing. We'll do some glad handing, and then we'll come back in a month and we'll pour this beer or something like that. Yeah. But I mean that's probably pretty labor and financial intense, but there's like things you could do, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
I think there's a lot you can do with this brand. I think. And you know that. I feel like you know.
We do.
There's a lot you can do. There
are a lot of things that we can do with.
Yeah. Why are we talking to
brands,
me? You know what you're doing. You're professionals.
We even understand our brand is not about only beer. It's about histories, and I don't know. Our big concept is the Japanese-Brazilian, so we can create a lot of things with this. Yes, not only beer. We can create many things. Yeah, anything.
Yeah, like you could tell. Not only your story, but like historical tales, cultural tales, all that stuff can get wrapped into this beer. So I think there's a lot that can go on with that. I guess really most of my questions at this point are like, what is Brazil like? What are your challenges that you're facing? What are the wonderful things that you love about being there?
The weather.
Brazil. I love the parties.
Yeah.
The bars, the restaurants.
Yumi is the party one.
I love the parties.
Yeah. Parties, the weather. Like I'm from my hometown is really hot, so it's hot all the year. Like we have no winter. And I love it because it's always sunny, beautiful, hot, and dry.
Yeah. Rio too, my hometown, Rio de Janeiro. I think you've heard of it.
Beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place. A lot of parties too.
Yeah.
And it's super good.
I love it. Arroz e feijão.
Arroz
e feijão.
Rice and beans. Yeah, the food. Yeah, food is really
Food in
great.
Brazil is amazing.
Yeah, specialty spices.
I am hungry now.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, that's perfectly fine. We can actually wrap it up if you wanted to. But I guess I have not had a chance to stay at the Tetra Hotel. Is there a thing about this concept that really drew you in to doing this collaboration?
Yeah, I mean, they are very Japanese influenced. I mean, even I bought my coffee cup and it's like the same brand of everything they use here for coffee. So I was like,
nice.
So we have the same taste. A very good one. So we have the same taste.
Very like
beautiful, elegant.
Exactly. Like they pay attention to every detail. Like you feel like you're in your
comfortable.
Home. Yeah. So it's so comfortable to stay here. You should come here.
I wasn't thinking yesterday. Like, we have a deal in the hotel. I'm like, I got things to do. I'm going to be home late. I can't be driving out to San Jose.
The bed is so comfortable.
And then I just like,
the rooms are amazing.
I got here like, I'm an idiot. I could have spent 2 hours driving and been fine.
You should stay. It's awesome. Yeah.
No,
and now we've been traveling for 2-3 weeks now, and we were like always sharing, and now we have one bedroom for each.
Man.
I mean, I love you girls, but it's been awesome having a bedroom for myself.
And a bathroom for us.
Oh yeah,
yes, this is the best part.
Yeah, that's a rule. Me and my girlfriend, we lived together for a few years now, and like the rule is anywhere we live, like we each got our own bathroom. We're not sharing bathrooms. Like, if it doesn't have 2 bathrooms, we're not moving in. It's not going to happen. I don't care how much it costs. That second bathroom is important.
I think for us in New York, like, as a concept, it's amazing, but in reality, one is kind of like,
it's the maximum you can get.
If you want to burn through those investment dollars, move to New York.
More bathrooms in New York.
Is that? Yeah, I suppose that would be a problem. I feel like we can't end on bathrooms. I feel like somewhere. But I think, especially coming out of COVID, you're cooped up with the same people, and like you're like, I just for once gonna have my space. Were you guys stuck like cooped up in the same spot for like months on end, and just at your wits' end with everybody who you loved and adored previously?
For me, it was exactly like this. I was like doing the groceries for my parents, but I was living by myself, so I was stuck inside my place for 6 months at least. And then I started like going to São Paulo to visit Yumi. Then it was getting better, but yeah, it was a very long time. It's bad when you are with someone, but it can be worse when you're by yourself.
I mean, alone, it's like it's just your thoughts.
Yeah.
They're not very positive after a few weeks.
No. At least I have pets.
I did the reverse. Like I moved in with my boyfriend during the pandemic. So
Okay. How did that go?
it went well.
Great.
To be honest. Yeah. We're together.
Yeah.
now,
Hey,
so-
well, that's a win.
Good.
Yeah. I just feel like it was like a lot of pressure. Then you're like, now we're gonna go travel internationally, and we're gonna be stuck in the same building, the same room, with the same people for weeks on end. And then you finally get your freedom. That's beautiful. To express yourselves and be yourselves and like sleep comfortably. I assume sleep schedules are all weird and habits are different. So
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So finally getting the chance to just like fall asleep the natural, how you always fall asleep thing.
Thanks, Tetra.
Thanks, Tetra. Thanks, Mike.
But yeah, I think it's about time to get out of here. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about that we haven't discussed as far as what people should know about Japas?
We launched a beer called Casato Maru. You tried?
Yep.
So
The Jasmine Pilsner.
No.
Oh, no.
Casato Maru is the
New England.
New England
IPA
IPA with the copon,
Okay.
the Japanese
Here you call it
tangerine.
sumo citrus.
Yeah. So this one we created for the celebration of the anniversary of the immigration in Brazil, which is in June. So we launched this for the 110th
110th,
anniversary. And
Was in
then
2018.
after this, we started like researching about our families, and then we found out that the ships that Casato Maru is the name of the first ship.
Okay.
And then we found out the ships that our families moved into Brazil. So Maira's family went in Sanuki Maru ship. So we created, this became a line, so it's Maru series. So we launched Sanuki Maru for Maira's family.
With
so,
yuzu?
Yeah, with yuzu. She loves yuzu. She has a yuzu tree in her place.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're Japanese.
And then we found out that my family and Yumi's family, they went to Brazil in the same ship, but in a different year. But it was
Okay.
Rio de Janeiro
One
Maru.
year.
Yeah. So we launched a double New England IPA because it's two families in the same ship. And this one we used kumquat in the recipe. So yeah, this is one of our favorite series because all our family, they were super proud, and we found like old pictures. And also there's a website in Brazil that you can look your family's name, and then you can find the original document scanned. We could find
Yes.
That's a
all
huge
the
project.
documents. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could find
The names of all the immigrants, like the names of our grandfathers.
Yeah.
and
So we could
grandmothers.
find the original document for all of our family. So it was really, it was an emotional,
For sure.
emotional thing. So the whole family could see. So it was amazing. And
This is the best example how we create all together, because we put stories and our families and some fruits, different fruits, and we think about the name. And I
then
think that this
Yumi
is the,
creates the label, and then she found like the pictures of the real ships.
Yes,
So in the
yes.
labels, it's super beautiful, like the ships and with the fruit. And she did all with manual collage, and also the waves. It's beautiful. It's just I never know how to
Ripped,
Yeah.
torn,
Rip it.
torn
Rip
paper
it.
blue,
A blue-
so to make the
I don't know.
wave.
Okay.
and then the
I
when
cut
it's
with my
ripped,
hands.
it's like the white
white
part.
part,
Of,
yeah.
Yes,
The little
yes.
crest.
It's like
Yeah.
you should search for this label to check it out.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, we have somewhere. No, I think we were sold out.
No,
Yeah, we're
bad news. It turns out when you do an opening like this, people will
Gonna
come
show you
out
later.
to it. Yeah.
I think this is the reason, because we are so different than the other brewers, because I don't know, we are creating the design and the recipe together. So I think this is the different than the other brewers.
Yeah, we create everything together, like every single beer we do like brainstorm, and then Yumi also helps like choosing the ingredient and giving insights also for the recipes, and then we do the same for the label.
Yeah.
So name, ingredient, label, they all come together at the same time,
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has
And
there
I
been
mean, people think we are way bigger than we really are.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I mean,
We
people
receive a lot of CVs.
Yeah, I want to work in your marketing team. It's like Japas is the trio of
Oh
us.
my God.
We're the marketing team.
Yeah, we are.
And we're the brewing team. And we're the financial team.
Yes. If you send us an email, it's going to be us like replying. Maira is replying the emails, social media. I do finance as well, other than the recipes. Yeah, so we share all.
Many hats.
Yeah, many hats.
Has there been a time when you were making a recipe and you're like, we can't agree on a name or a label, and you just scrap the beer entirely? You're like, you know what? It's not working out. We're not doing this.
I don't think so.
I think we tend to agree. I mean, we work really well together. We complement each other, and even if we don't agree, we get to a point that we can deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, are you really going to scrap a beer because you couldn't think of a name for a second? Like, let's just like walk away and come back in 3 days.
That's the best part
you
for
put it on
us.
hold.
It's like,
but we
that's
can
what
put
we
it on
like to
hold,
do.
And then like we think a little bit more, and then
Go for a
we
walk,
come out
do some yoga.
with something. Do some yoga, meditation.
Yeah.
And then we can find something. Yeah, but sometimes we get stuck. It's normal, but
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's never for so long.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you're expanding into the 10 U.S. states. Has that already happened, or is that still like coming through? It's already here.
Oh, yeah.
Already coming. All right, great. Is there
2 more on the way.
Yeah.
nice?
3.
Ooh,
3 more.
Oh boy. It's all the way. That's the original U.S. states, 13 states. All right. But, all right. So if people wanted to learn more about Japas, where would they go? What would they do?
Our Instagram.
Yeah, we are more active on Instagram.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
I think that's really, if you're looking for beer, it's a thing people want to take pictures of. They want to take videos of it.
Yeah,
Instagram's where everybody
It's Japas Cervejaria, JAPAS CERVEJARERIA.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry.
I'm lost.
Yeah. The translation,
It's hard to spell in English.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, and that's yeah, and I love it because I used to anyway. It's not the point. I have dealt with a lot of coworkers that are Brazilian, so like
cool.
just like there's so many X's. Why are there so many X's in this language?
Yes.
We're like X. That's the one we don't use it. And they're like, no, it's in here all the time. And then there's website, obviously.
Yes, too.
japacervejaria.com.br.
BR for Brazil too.
Yes. .com too.
Yeah.
We have
Also,
both.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's got all the profiles of your beers.
Yeah, you
your
can find all
cocktails.
the info about the beers, the cocktails. We have a very nice brand book as well.
Yeah.
So it helps a lot, like when people need material from us, so we can have like photos, mock-ups, and logo.
guidelines how to use our brand.
guidelines. Yumi did it.
Well, I've had 97 beers today. They've all been great. Can't say enough about it. I really appreciate it. You found time for me in a busy festival
course.
for 3 hours. I really appreciate it. This
It's our
is too much
pleasure.
fun.
Yeah.
I really do. I think, nothing but the best for you in the future. And I want to thank you guys for appearing on Barley Me, even though I keep saying you guys. So this has been episode 166. You can find Barley Me across social media, Barley Me Pod. I don't need to do anything else. You guys know how it works. So I want to thank you all for appearing on this. I, again, wish you nothing but the best. And keep hitting me up if you got stuff. You don't have to. I don't know. I'm pitching myself in the middle of a podcast. All right.
Thanks
so
for
much.
having us.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks
No.
a lot.
No.
Yes.
And,
Obrigada.
Obrigada. Arigatou gozaimasu.
and to the listeners, thanks so much for listening. Get home safe.
Thank you.